Je se retrouve pour une vidéo Fortnite, la trio. Donc voilà, donc c'est en anglais donc. Youhou. Là c'est la trio où il y a Hunter, Kinstar, Skype, etc.
Particularly in the Middle East and European region are, so make sure you get up to date on that, get what our thoughts and opinions are. But we're going to be hopping into Heat 2, Match 1 of the Middle East region in just a second here. And honestly, I'm excited. It's going to be the first time seeing Middle East in outside of the open.
Je sais pas.
Seeing the top teams really go at it. And honestly, look.
Si. Mais si je l'ai.
Otherwise, Klopp's, Hero Kappa, and Fiesel were the favorites going through. They performed pretty well. You will be seeing them in the Middle East Grand Final tomorrow. However, Flame, Prime, and Hunter were also able to have a positive day in their heat and advance through. So predictions so far are holding steady, and it's going to be exciting once we get in. There is a different style of play, different types of gameplay from all over the regions, but enough from me. Talked enough. Let's throw it on over to Lupo and Monster as they take you into Middle East Heat 2, Match 1.
Sundown, thank you very much. Just a quick note to those at home. Occasionally we run into issues on the cast. Do your best to not get too worked up about it. You know, there's a lot of
wow, tout ça partout, gros.
So you have to imagine a 10-minute break is an insanely
short time
to back into the games. You can see here on your screen, E2 Game 1 of the Middle East region just starting off. Tilted Town, a number of teams dropping down the bottom. Down here, pressure in the bottom and the pump shotgun. Early blue pump shotgun.
Oh, il remet knock, il remet knock.
Il termine le jeu, quel joueur. It just hits so hard for so many up close fights too.
It's such a clean shot, and that's one of the perks of landing in Tilted Town. You know you're gonna get a blue. You know you're leaving a blue pump. You're leaving with shockwaves. You're guaranteed.
Hey,
guaranteed minimal. Not only that, you're probably gonna get yourself some launch pads as well. So this is the place to be, especially if you want to guarantee your loadout. And
yeah, that's.
You know, you stick around just to get back to the lobby. Not much you can do there. You catch one pick, maybe you get a point for your leaderboard, basically. But
the hope it's like a solo. Otherwise, you know they're just gonna get picked back up almost immediately. A tough spot to be in. But yeah, you're saying early game in Tilted has such a refined loot pool. The trade-off of not
pour moi c'est une des meilleures villes du jeu. Parce que de un, tu peux avoir du shoot. C'est du shoot de tout. Et puis c'est géré quand t'as pas de construit, t'es juste où. Ah, je sens lui. Full kit, il va retomber. Il a déjà 3 kills, il a 3 points. Il va retomber. Ce qui est pas mal, les gars. Voilà.
Arguably one of the better spots to drop right now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, imagine a game where one of these guys bring that double barrel out of Tilted Town, because there are some rules in play where the double barrel shotgun only spawns in Tilted, but you can even take the weapons out of the place as well.
Charm, there we go.
I was gonna say, he's having a little bit of a struggle and over.
Track down that space bar, runs away sometimes. Unless you're playing on controller, I guess. My apologies, controller gang, love you.
If anything, Controller Gang has the best movement we've seen so far.
Comparé à la deuxième, les quatrième, les plus tendus. Les personnes qui ont pris la hauteur déjà. Minzu a pris la hauteur. Iskenji aussi. Oh, il a un tactique. Et des grenades à l'arme de tête.
The prediction from 4 of the 5 of us, one of the players, Klopp.
Une personne à l'intérieur, on peut la voir en transparent. Oh, tu vois les grenades. Il va rush. C'est vos guises. Il essaie de garder la hauteur. Il essaie de garder la hauteur.
Catch up right to to catch up to the rest of the competitive.
C'est de passer des petits pics.
Now they have.
I wouldn't even say that honestly, because some of these players are so good, Monster. I mean, we've even watched each other grow very quickly playing the game just from watching these competitive experiences. You have opportunities like this event.
Oh, il a mis knock. Je pense qu'il va le terminer en 60.
Over the top, but you have to understand these players in the Middle East region have been asking for their own region for quite a long time. So
Oh, il a touché une balle à 30.
experience between all these other regions.
Il a tenté sur.
Learning has happened big time.
Oh, ce joueur est un monstre. XPNG, c'est un monstre. Il a déjà 2 points. Ils ont déjà 2 points pour la première game. Il a 2 points. Je pense qu'il va essayer de réanimer son pote. Il lâche un petit peu. Je vois. Je suis en train de monter la trio.
Your team only suffers a single
C'est qui est sur le... Tu peux me dire.
I'd say that's 100% worth it. Bubble shields in rotation out. Team moving up on top of the hill.
Not
lucky landing.
He's actually hit with a little headshot right there, ripped apart all of his shield. Now forced only down to bandages, and this is a battle that they have to take on their heels here. And I like what they're doing. They're backing up as a squad, trying to use this time to also gather the process. This team is not letting up.
Ouais, c'est pas juste sa roquette. Sa roquette instant, on est là. Qui n'hésite pas à aller rusher avec son gros lance-roquette. Il essaie de reprendre la hauteur. Il recherche son lance-roquette. Je pense qu'il va. Oh, il essaie de monter. C'est une game. Oh, il a la paix. Il va peut-être récupérer les kills. Et oui. Bon. Sur le normal, une arène, quoi. Une pactole. Je vais monter la boutique. 9, 7, 8. Alors j'ai acheté ça et j'ai acheté ça. Regarde le bruit. Je peux faire ce bruit là ou ce bruit là. Tu veux que j'aille où en game? Peut-être. Tu fais top 1. Je te donne 2 euros. Si tu top 1 à Pleasant, je te donne 2 balles. T'as de la chance. Fortnite, genre en don sur YouTube ou... Tu as une chance, tu peux avoir 2 chances comme ou 3 chances. 2 chances, vas-y. Tu peux avoir 2 chances ou pas? Comme avec le LFB. Oh, mais... Tu m'as pas dit le nombre de kills que je dois faire. Donc, j'ai joué safe. Deux chances, mec. Vas-y, bon. Là, t'as bien liké le live, hein. Tu m'as pas dit le nombre de kills que je joué, c'est grave, En gros, demain tu fais du midi 16h. À tous les zones, en gros, tu dis dans la zone, tu dois terminer leur zone. Je m'en dis que c'est le gars. Je t'arrive à le faire. Je dois aller clap les zones. Moi, je vais aller manger une bonne pizza bolognaise après, les gars. En gros, je vais me bloquer avec. Non, en vrai, je crois que je vais manger là. Si je me retourne, je suis mort, hein. Ça, je retourne. Le micro est nul, je t'entends pas. Là, c'est bon, normalement. Là, normalement, t'entends bien. Attends, je suis en live. Je suis en live. Il y a un abonné, il a dit, si tu fais un top 1, je te donne 2 euros. Oui.
Moi je dois rien moi. Oui je sais mais c'est une blague. C'est drôle toi, ah oui. Ouais. Il n'est pas dans ma classe. Oui, 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 oui. Quoi, il vient à midi. Alexon, il repart à 16h. Ah oui. Bah non, son père, il va aller l'accompagner. La bagnole. Chasseur ou taxi? Ta grosse noire à la faune maintenant. Qui t'a donné la permission? Mais dis-moi, qui t'a donné la permission? Oh, il a cru quoi ici? C'est la forêt du trou. Alexandre marque où je marque un. Oui gros. Alexandre, si t'es encore sur live, écris un commentaire. S'il te plaît. Là j'ai un bon loot ou pas? À ton avis? un bon loto. Des euros, wesh. C'est un chasseur bleu, je prends un centre. Chasseur bleu ou taxi? Taxi. Oh, j'ai... Moi je prends le chasseur souvent. Ah là c'est très compliqué par contre. Pour les mini je jette le barrette ou lance-roquette. Moi je pense que je vais lâcher. Non, je garde l'RPG gros. Je prends les mini. Bah non gros, trop tard, j'ai lâché l'air. Oh, je suis doux. Maintenant je pense. C'est un cancer. Bah ouais, logique, moi je veux mes 2 balles. Même si c'est pas une énorme somme, c'est un beau geste de ta part quand même. Il me fait rire, il est mignon. Il est mignon. Il est mignon. Ouais, moi. Ouais. 2 secondes, moi. Je termine ma partie. Je vais aller bouffer et je reviens après dans 5 minutes. J'ai même plus de tenue. Ah, il y a le niveau à Gustave, hein. Non, c'est pas Gustave, il est chaud, niveau MM. Moi, je cherche des mecs, tu vois. Ah non. Alerte au gogo les enfants. Il m'a ralassé au niveau qu'on se rend. Ah, depuis quand t'as le droit de regarder mes lives à cette heure-là? Je termine ma partie, maman. Après, je mange tout, t'inquiète. Wesh gros, ça va être de la fin de zone, frère. On se ça. Alors... Maman, je termine, 2 secondes. 2 secondes. Putain, on me saoule. Ça dure 5 minutes, 2 minutes même. Je connais les balles. Lâche un pouce bleu avec toi. Je suis obligé, hein, vous. Termine, maman, 2 secondes. Mais arrête. Ça dure 2 minutes, promis. Reviens gros, ça dure 2 minutes. Je mange en 2 minutes, vas-y. En attendant, je te mets l'événement, la trio, ok. Après, tu peux me donner... C'est pas grave. Attends, vite, allez, ma mère elle va me tarder. Vas-y, je te mets ça. Vas-y, je te laisse ça, je reviens.
Could have the next insane, calmer, clutch individual mongrel, but you know, international across the season, a different time zone, playing his own type of metagame, his own type of strats being dropped down from height, going upwards, downwards, everywhere around the entire server. So it's really cool seeing how a new region develops and exactly where they actually place themselves in the timeline of exactly how their skills are, how their build fighting metagame is, what they try to do on height afterwards. A pattern we saw in the first EU games where, hey, if MMB have height, everyone below them, no shields at all. Every tag, it's a headshot from a scar. It's an easy 72 white damage tag that usually gets them that elim at the end. Middle East, same way. We're going to break it down in just a second, but there's an entire type of shifted metagame where it's kind of those early Season 3, Season 4 tendencies combined with the knowledge you have at the end types of, Season 8, Season 9 end games where, you're rotating, you're tarping, you're saving your items. At the same time, early game, you're using them immediately. No thought whatsoever. You have everything on your board. You have your inventory. You know exactly what your teammates have. The comms are nice. Everything's on the plate, ready to go, ready to get feasted on. So Middle East right now for me is just is really nice. We're going to be going into a clip actually of an early game, I believe, Happy Hamlet game. We're going to dive in with Kinzel, I believe. We'll see how he plays out. Actually, no, this is a power clip. There we go. Kinji up in Happy Hamlet. It's going to be really dope to see him actually cut out for his team on height. We talk about the metagame, right? When Shockwaves first got introduced, it was a straight pump or combat shot upwards. It took people time to get used to that AR spray. He has it in his inventory already. These guys are caught up, they know. Ramp edits, practicing creative, right? Very ingenuitive, a lot of ingenuity there, as well as wall replacing for protection. It's not raw gameplay, it's actually curated practice, and they're brand new to the actual international scene, which is amazing. Baiting your teammates out for HP, going for finishes. Even support players like Moon know exactly what to do. Now, the star trio that won that previous game, Power FHD, knowing how to use and take angles properly, has traps in front of him, doesn't matter. Knows to stay for those right-hand peaks, knows when to engage, low HP, still does not matter. No pressure taken because these guys have practiced. This is not their first rundown, but it is their first showdown of exactly what they can do, right? No Mats here, has the elims, low health, still knows exactly when to look up, what to loot, when to use your utility, and when to support your teammate and still have a presence in the game, which is once again something players learned a lot later. So these guys are caught up with the meta game. They do know how to finish off. They know their exact win conditions as well and when to drop them through. Amazing gameplay. We're going to now tune in else they can do on the Middle East. I'm going to be picking it up with my man Zeke coming in. We're both going to hit that cast. We're going to see exactly how these guys go down. We'll relive that breakdown actually together live. Zeke, what did you think about their presence compared to the rest of the international regions?
Man, I think we still have quite a bit more to see from this region. I think you did an amazing breakdown there. I think the ceiling for ME is still very high. We haven't quite seen what they're fully capable of, but I think over the weekend, we'll definitely see it. I'm also excited that we get to finally hang out, Shy Wager and Zeke. Chic. We have come together. That was great, actually. That is a true thing of the game. But anyway, the games are ready. Let's hop right in, Fortnite fam. We're jumping out the battle bus. We're going to begin this game. I can't wait to see what happens here in this game. Because remember, these happened over this morning. Earlier on, while everyone wants to sleep, including myself, I slept like a baby. It's kind of. It's not entirely true, but anyway, we're getting into it. We can see now where people are trying to land early. So, I mean, you've got the Pleasant there. You've got a team of Junk. The old Villain Factory, you've got some at Snobby, some flying even over Greasy. There's still quite a bit of teams, though, still that are airborne.
Yes, and one thing you mentioned earlier, Zeke, was the whole idea of these games happened this morning, right? For me, chewing gum, you leave it on the table untouched, still good to eat later in the day. There's so much flavor in these games we have yet to see. No, seriously, man. Like, once again, we're tuning with Power. Hey, look at this pattern, right? I kind of, went to the FHD/Mongrel comparison. These guys are in retail. Mongrel's in retail. We had Monster, Lupo, saying these guys have been waiting for a long time, right? There's so many VODs they've been watching. They have the knowledge, man. They have the power.
Yeah, and now look, they land over here on the, what do we like to call this? The top side is blacktop. So
residential.
This is residential.
Yeah,
there we
yeah.
go. I literally came up with it as you were saying. What's wrong with me today? But they are on the residential side, which is good. I personally, and this just might be like my thinking, but I feel like the loot's a little better on residential side than blacktops. Would you agree? Or do you think it's the other way around?
I think that there's more, there's sparser loot on the blacktop side. We're looking at Tilted right now, but I'm going to keep talking about what we saw in retail. There's sparser loot on the blacktop side, but like residential does have, I think, more drop spots on the floor loot. But, you know, we got those bendings on blacktops, and you have more of a horizontal advantage on everyone you see.
Yep.
So it's a lot easier to kind of, you know, pick a game plan on blacktops. With residential, you kind of have to all in all the time.
Yeah.
Because if you do get engaged on, like, once again, you're all in, right? We see it in OCE, X2 Twins. They always end up having a fight, some type of highlight. It's really cool. Right now, though, you know, Lupa and Monster went over Tilted Town, the advantages, disadvantages of building and not building. What are your, how do you think player opinion has been of Tilted Town from the beginning to the end of how people treat the job?
I think originally people were maybe a little taken off guard by the fact that you could not build until the town. It was like, wait, but the whole thing is that you have to build and whatnot. And it's like, well, yeah, that's still a very big aspect of the game. But now there is a POI dedicated to you testing your shooting skills, right? How good are your angles and your peaks? How good are your rifling skills or even your close quarter combat skills? And that's what Tilted offers in its current state. But we're back on board with the Power Trio, the Trio of Power. They have themselves a Brute. They are looking to take it to this other Brute across the way, Shy. Now, what's crazy here is, remember, they have these laser designators. So the other Brute's fully aware. They're like, hey, there's another one. They're moving toward us. We need to try and take this down. But Power's on 18 effective HP. And it's just not enough. It's so easy to be focused down in the Brute right now. So unfortunately, FHE is going to go down. And I don't think there's anything else the other duo can do about this, right? They just kind of have to let him go down and regroup and assess the situation. NM7 does have the sniper, so if he can get a cheeky shot off, he can down someone immediately. But, like, look, the other Brute spawn, like, no, friend. We're going to hunt you down. Don't worry. Don't get too far.
Absolutely. Like, Brute combat is one thing that also has its own metagame, and like these guys know too, right? Focus the driver 100%. Usually the people you put into the Brute early game are those who don't have the same amount of loot. We're looking at a pump, TAC SMG, gold sniper on NM7. But FHD, all you have were zapper traps, a bunch of gray items, very easily focusable. And right now, you know, their enemy team is big and hard focused. I'm pretty sure it's the ASMR guys, Spy and Wagner. These guys are just coming in with a big Brute of their own, forcing through straight up, gaining all the loot as well. One big thing about having a Brute in retail, it's like butter on toast. Perfect combination, even jam on toast. Anything but mayo. You get these loot spawners so much faster with the stomp mechanic as well as the rockets. Granted that they were nerfed at one point, you still have so much damage to instantly just get these launches over and over again. The biggest downside to retail being you spend so much time in there, right? You negate that, you have the perfect setup entirely in the whole game.
Yeah, and then you can kind of take that Brute into later game and use that to kind of mess with other trios out there. I like this too. The ASMR trio, ASMR, quiet. They are in the Brute right now. They are destroying base spawner. Shy, what is the loot pool looking like if you sat there and retail and destroyed all the loot spawners?
I personally think that a lot of launch pads, a lot of campfires, and a lot of ARs everywhere for you, including pumps.
I like that very much. But now we are across the way because look at this, Minzu and Kinji. This trio, we saw an absurd amount of snipes last game. Now, many of them they couldn't follow up on just based on where they were, but look at this. He drops down and he gets counter dropped. That is a zapper. He's got to be careful. It's okay. All right. I thought that wasn't Moon. I saw a second shot from the right, and I was like, if that is this enemy trio, like, Minzu's going to be eliminated. There's nothing they can do, but it's okay. Moon was there. He had the assist, and look at the loadout. It's just shining array of colors.
Yeah, Happy Hamlet, I broke it down in one of the job shop breakdowns. Vendings galore, so many chests, right? You eliminate as much of the loot pool as possible to what you need to keep looting over and over again. You know, loot drops, chest spawns, every vending that's available to you as well. You get to pick and choose what you want. You use it in the fight as well really fast if there's just one other team contesting you. Looks like these guys are the kings of Happy all the way in the Middle East, which is huge. We have now two big things as well that a lot of people don't realize in the game is when you have kings of a drop spot clash against each other, you don't really see where people come from, right, in the end game when they're on height. But now that we know that we have the ASMR boys having all of retail, we have this rainbow loadout on every single person from Happy, we can now see the storyline build up all the way to the end game of these two star trios at the moment in this game.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are looking very, very good, but look who else is here. We've got two trios just in front. There is one player from a trio left in Old Yonder. There's a trio making their way over a hill by that long ravine there. Okay, so it's Sazerin there, who's by himself. I'm not sure what he's still doing there. It looks like he might just be crouched, just potentially trying to loot there. You got Simar, JD, and Cake Park, Dash? Cake Pack, Dash, like that. Like that, I do enjoy some cake as well. But now they just get to kind of walk into Old Yonder. I mean, there's obviously going to be no loot. They could farm up for materials if they wanted. All right, I take that back. There was one piece of loot, which was just the ammo box. My apologies, didn't see it. But now they're right here on the edge of Storm, right? Yeah. The new safe zone. So they're probably feeling pretty comfortable because they do even have a shockwave, which look like they have a shockwave apiece, and they even have a jump pad, the launch pad to get them to safety. So it's all going their way here in the early game.
Yeah, there's an absolute skirmish all the way in the snow side. We've kind of seen things develop, I guess even in Middle East as well. A lot of the people like to land split. They like to be up in the air, so to set a stage for you, Zeke, it's always just, you know, a bunch of people playing desperate with a bunch of trios that have already finished their fights. So you can imagine, you know, how scared people are split off. You can see exactly how they rotate it in, and you do see a little bit more survivability coming out of snow side towards the bones over here, towards the big monster skull. But at the same time, there is, you know, those mid-game fights that do break down at times. Right now, we don't see any. We can drop into just seeing the options that Toggle has now to move towards, I guess it's the desert biome, towards the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, there's still so many players left. 75 and 26 of 31 trios left. Don't forget, we want to hit top 12 before we start seeing any placement points at all. And we're right now in Storm Circle 2. So there's still so many players that have to be eliminated before this end game, right? I mean, I don't imagine we'll see like
Allô? Ah, moi je suis là.
750 people left, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Ça c'est Yo, c'est quoi ça? C'est la coupe champion de Rio où il y a Nikov, où il y a Kinstar, Nikov, Hunter, Skite, etc.
Seagull, Toggle, and Eska, they have no eliminations. Their loadouts, it's not shambles, but it's like borderline shambles, I would say.
It's 100% shambles if it's a big zone, but you touched on it a little bit, right? Eliminations. When do you actually really want them? What is your win condition? So what would you say if you had shield bubbles and shockwaves, the different options people have towards the middle or end game that they can use to actually, you know, come through for elims or play for placement?
That's a good question. That's tough. I think it depends on, because like everyone knows what heat they're in, so you know who, if you're paying attention and you're doing your homework like you should be, you know the other people in your heats, you know potentially where they're going to look to land. So like if I'm this trio, I'm not going anywhere near retail, right? Because we already know ASMR trio is there, and we even saw the power trio as well. So I mean, right now they're near Salty, which it doesn't look like, looking at the minimap, no one's there. Everyone's already rotated out, right? They're trying to get themselves into safe zone. Looking at, actually, on the top left, you could kind of see, so right now, look, they're just on the outside making their way in. So we're back on power, and looks like it's just Yonks by himself. This is a brutal spot to be in. He probably definitely does not have their cards. They're not getting rebooted. There's no way. So anything he can. I mean, I'd imagine he's probably wanting to play it slow, right? He's like, look, if I can even just play for placement and get us those points, if he can find an awesome pick, great, but that's just like backseat. Right now, it's survival mode.
Yeah, the worst sound anyone could have heard from him on the server for his situation is that shield break sound. The whole you know, desynchronization of the shield. So right now, he's worried. He knows trios around him know that he's worried. His entire plan at the moment is to use, you see, half his loadout's already gone, right? We talked about when to use your loadout, when is your win condition, do you want elims? You said it, Zeke, it's full survivability at the moment, and Yonks has to go to the Bronx and even further now to even win the game, right? Like, 0 elims, the easiest thing to do, right? Getting 3 points for eliminations is 3 separate fights. A lot of mats used there, right? A lot of gun skill required, a lot of brains required in the fight against 3 other people. But if you separate it into entity, 31-33. So in this game specifically, I think we're at 26 out of 31. We're kind of far from placement, but separating it into just looking at singular entities moving around the map and playing placement that way, right? Using your mats against one entity rather than 3 separate ones in a fight. You can then kind of, you know, segment out your loot, your minis, your mobility, and actually get further and get 3 points.
Dis-moi ce que t'as envie que je fasse. Dis-moi ce que t'as envie que je fasse.
Consider that. That's pretty dope, but I mean, it's tough, right? Like, I want to be hopeful for Youngs in this game, and what's different is like during qualifiers, you had kind of 10 games and you had 3-hour window. So like if you were in this situation, you could say, look, I'm just going to run in the team, and for the best. And even if I was eliminated, it's fine. We're just going to hop back into another game. But these are heats, right? So like right now, everything is on the shoulder of Youngs, right? Because we're going a full game at a time. So Youngs just can't say, all right, let's just let this game be our watch. Like, no, he actually has to sit here and try. And I mean, if I'm FHD, if I'm NM7, I'm sitting there like looking out for him, like, right, you've got a team here, you've got a team there. Like, just try and keep yourself positive, because like for me personally, if I was in this situation, it would be so stressful.
Yeah.
But these are the very best of the best. They're here for a reason. As I say that, caster curse in full effect. I finished my sentence and Youngs gets picked up. It's okay. But all they have to do is go back in, let that game wash over, and prepare themselves for this next game. Well, for them, these games already wrapped up overnight, so hopefully for the next game, he steeled himself, you know, at least hopefully.
Yeah, you touched on it a little bit. This is really, it's going to be a weird analogy, so I segue, but bear with me here, right? You said the game was on Youngs' shoulders, right? In cartoons, you usually have like an angel or a devil on your shoulders, right?
Okay.
To break it down for people trying to clutch up in that situation, replace the angel and devil with your win conditions, right? Am I looking for free elims rotating? Am I looking to play safe? And every time you see one of your shoulders kind of ding, that's what you have to play for. You have to suppress all the other easy stuff you see. Maybe there's a free heavy snipe you can take, right? At the same time, that exposes you, right? Your whole full shoulder is not lit up there. You got to play at the side of the angel. So if you're trying to learn how to get in the clutch situations, trying to learn exactly how to rotate in the game, what is right, what is wrong, segment it out, wait for the proper shoulder to light up, and that's an easy way, right? Right there, Youngs, the mistake he made, he kind of chose the devil shoulder. He saw free tags for rotation. He knows he needs elims because he has 0, but in doing that, he brought the full force of an entire trio out, right? He talked about entities. He turned a full 1 entity he could just block with mats to 3 people to face 3 separate AR shots. He got erased from the server.
Man, that's so dope.
Yeah.
See, Shy Wager dropping these knowledge bombs and making my inner child who loves Looney Tunes just so happy right now. I appreciate that, Shy. That was very nice. It's very well explained.
Thank you, man. Thank you, thank you. Now we're looking at an entire different scenario. M. Sadiq, I've actually seen this guy have some amazing highlights in-game and actually clutch it out in the Middle East server, sometimes topping the charts of our top plays of the week. Currently, he's going to be leading an actual trio. We're actually on Rampage's perspective right now, but these guys are absolutely raw when it comes to just taking those free aim duels, just engaging on fights and following up with stuff. Right now, I've never seen more stink tags from one stink on an entire trio. Eska goes down. We saw Eska last game as well as rotating earlier. Now, they're very set on loot, but once again, they know that win condition. Solo as a trio, what shoulder is dinging? I got a knock, okay, stink follows up, right? That's how you have that whole momentum process, you have it planned out. You just gotta look for the right pings to follow through.
And if they had some kind of mobility, I would imagine they probably would have gone in and cleaned up this trio, right? Because they got so many tags, like you're saying. Once that stink came out, it was giving 2 damage numbers. They were taking pretty much the entirety of that cloud. You know they're on low HP. So at least one of those guys is dropped really, really low. Unless they have something and they're burning resources like splashes, a slurp, even a med kit or bandages, like, you know they're burning through materials to try and get there. I'm glad that they were able to say, look, we're not going to follow up. We can either tarp all the way over there, and we burn a bunch of materials. They hear us coming, and they're ready to say, like, you know what, we got them to use their stuff.
Ça y est, frère.
I got it!
Là-bas, ils ont fait la tour Eiffel, frère, on était
Every
drôle.
time you see it, that is literally the explanation of what win conditions are and how to follow up things in the inventory, right? A lot of people used to hate stinks. They realized that, you know, people randomly stink me all the time. That's kind of when they first came out, right? People didn't actually know how to follow up with them. But now, we still have 4 stinks in Rampage's box. He's ran through how many trios beside them, right? He's not throwing them for no really dilly reason whatsoever, right? He's using them in response with anymore, but actually strategically used to, you know, shake up an entire trio and not just have them box up the entire time when someone else actually has an advantage to push on them with.
Man, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Plus, I mean, you probably, if you are this trio, you probably shrink super, like, small. Those things become more and more valuable because then you're just like blanketing.
Ils ont zone, ils sont
You're
calmes.
saying as long as you guys are trying to get to safety,
Il y a plein de
you're
personnes qui
taking
décalent.
5 ticks, so you guys can hold that L. But at the same time, like, their loot isn't great, right? Like, it's probably mid-game centric, which is fine, but now we're starting to move into that late game, so they want to try and find another trio to get their loot
What, il a bugué?
propel them forward because, like, you've got the
Wesh.
boom pump, sure. You've got the long range in the air, sure. 4 splashes, awesome, but like those aren't power weapons. Those aren't a heavy snipe that you can just punch a hole in anyone's 1x1. That isn't nades or explodes that you could potentially use to pick up these eliminations. And look, the power duo right now by themselves, they're just chilling and they have got the attention.
Bien joué, coup de pied, encore une fois.
And Rampage.
Yeah, not to be confused with the other power trio that we saw go down. There are multiple players and many different organizations that are playing across all the regions and in the same region as well.
Yeah.
These guys are still alive. Looks like they have one person. They might have a full trio actually. Yep, looks like 90 is there with them as well. You actually touched on a very cool aspect I want to touch on as well. You talked about loadouts and endgame and the map, right? I'm really glad you brought that up because the later the game goes, the less space there is on the map, the more your loadout actually.
Ok, c'est de shoot là, Ingo, Denis, Tamus. En fait, ils essayent d'attendre le top.
But when that circle is small and
Oui,
you're
c'est
running
du spam
sport,
aussi.
that's where even just having a gray AR for a follow-up matters. There's not that much separation between, you know, just you want to have a spray weapon. So you got an amazing breakdown, you know, kind of these win conditions get so much more diverse throughout the game as they keep going. And the zone that was a really cool breakdown.
Hey,
I like that a lot.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Let's
you.
go.
Man, this is the first time I'm hanging out, and we get to freaking kick our brains together. I love it.
Yeah, it's nice.
Here we go. The different alter ego, Namfu, Med, and Ego here, Dennis. So not the alter ego trio we're used to seeing. More of their comrades, and they're on 5 eliminations. You know, they're in top 20 right now, which is huge. If they play for another 8 trios, they're going to get themselves placement points. Now their loadout's looking real good. They just picked up a minigun, which is huge. They have 3 stinks, an RPG, a blue pump, splashes as well. They've got materials almost 150, almost fully capped out. These guys are looking real good. So now this is going to go back to your shoulder dinks, right? What are you looking to play for? And right now, as the storm comes in, you're looking to get these tags, right? Anyone's like, oh, the storm's literally on my back, time to start moving. Those are those people that these guys are looking to pick up if possible. They're also on the low ground tarp, which is going to kind of shape kind of how they're going to be forced to engage people coming up here shortly.
Yeah, these guys are 100% playing the horizontal game. As you said, low ground tarp means you cannot go lower at all. Means that you are fighting for your lair 24/7. The reason people love having mid ground so much is because they can actually move, as you can see, up, down, left, and right. They have an entire new axis they can operate on. But low ground does have its perks, as you saw. Ultimately, no matter what, you end up on the dirt when you're moving around the map, right? If you're not on your builds. So plays like that where you force people down with the trap, they can't move anywhere past you. So they have to interact with you. So owning this lair, although it is the hardest, ultimate low and ultimate height most of the time, it does have some of the most rewarding things because A, you never need to place floors when you're ultimate low, right?
Save materials that way.
Exactly. You know exactly where your elims are coming from because they're all usually above you or going to be challenged from the bottom or diagonally from the bottom at all. You basically have very good camera control around your entire horizontal axis as well as just looking up slightly to just see what's happening on your floors and if any RPGs are coming down straight up above you. So it's actually not bad to control ultimate low. The only issue being that is everyone's desperation play to go to randomly when they are at the end of the game, right? It's like, hey, I'm in trouble, gotta drop low. So there's so much to take account of on that horizontal plane, it gets hard. Now we're looking at a 6-zone rotation. This is where the action and the meat of the game comes in. The first placement point getting dropped, top 12 now, 34 people alive. Zeke, the heals are still there. So is a
challenge for high ground and get the highest tarp possible and then start raining those RPGs down. And look at this, 700 rounds in that minigun. Dennis wants to try and apply pressure to everyone. It doesn't got it. This is going to be great for them. They can rain down those shots, and everyone that's on those lower ground tarps, though they had the advantage of being lower, now they have to worry about this constant minigun pressure from above, on top of people on your tarp, people below you, people also using other types of explodes. Are there stinks in play? There's so many more things that they don't have to worry about being on that high ground tarp, and now they're just saying, yep, everyone down below, just keep worrying. No, it's fine. This minigun, there you go, Spammy. Oops, sorry, Spammy. You just got picked up on the crossfire, right? Like,
Spammy got spammed.
He got spammed. I like it. But I mean, right now, if you're everyone down below, I mean, first of all, let's talk about their HP. Super non-existent. Feasel's there. The other alter ego, is he going to go down? I'm not sure. There was one of the ASMR trios. Top 8, we get another round of placement points. There you go. And now this is just going to be on this alter ego duo and Dennis to try and close out the game. No one's even contested it, by the way. This is the first RPG we've seen go out. So now they're saying, great, everyone else is down below is fought. They're all super low. Let's start using our resources, start trying to burn people down.
Yeah, these guys have that default split broken down as well. Dennis on top while Mev and Namfu are at the bottom, making sure that even if there are shockwaves, right, people have learned, they've played around them. Right now, minigun sprays coming down, people have saved their hard match for this end game, but in doing so, they might have taken tags through their wood moving around in the mid game. Those tags will prove crucial because every minigun shot is 20 to 25 damage on the person straight through their builds. Right now, it's just an easy beam, an easy spray from high ground. We saw Sadig earlier who was controlling one layer of height, ultimately down at the dirt. Klops actually goes down, one of the top trios in the region. Hopefully he makes it through the heats. We will see the standings hopefully at some point. Right now though, Dennis, 4 elims. Mev, another 4. We have a total of 11 elims on this trio at the moment with more to come. There is a top 2 spot available for placement. That minigun is not stopping. And making sure the builds are fine. They don't need to because they're ice. Pressure gets all the way down the low ground. Siddiq gets that big knot, and Kappa, no joke this time. He gets taken out. That is the whole trio surviving all the way back to retail where we started. What a
Bon, en fait, depuis tard, mon micro il est désactivé. Solo video. Tout. Bang, 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 bang. A satisfeito o adjunct. Bombino dans son business, bah oui, le pourri. Après, il y a des vidéos de qualité qui vont arriver d'ici 3, 5, 6 jours. Encore peut-être dans une semaine, il y a une vidéo de qualité qui va sortir avec des montages. Je vais être traumatisé comme jamais. Je sens que je vais me prendre des balles de pompe dans la tête. Ça va faire tic-toc, tic-toc, tac-toc. Attends, mais tu vois, voilà, il y a trop de gens. Le corps, il y a trop de gens. Oh, non, oh, non. c'est combien? Ah voilà, c'est des diamants. Maintenant, je vais faire solo, je pense. Solo, gros. Ouais, je me fais soulever. Un bon mano. Un bon mano. Un bon mano. Non, arrête le live et tu diras quoi après. Un bon mano. Ido mano.